Get out of here. Alright. Welcome back to Hinamizawa, everybody. Who's ready for some more Higurashi no Nakakura ni? I just I I can't help myself when saying the full title. I don't know, it just rolls so well. I love it. I mean, and granted, I know the Japanese title more than I knew the English title. So, when Higurashi, when they cry. Anyways, yeah. So, where we last left off, let's see. So, Uni tips. We had just finished the Watanagashi festival, and it was fun. We did some games and challenges with the club, and then we also talked to um, Tomitake-san and some girl. I can't remember if we caught her name. Um, we learned more about the incident that had happened a few years prior. Then we also learned that after that, there had been consecutive coincidental-ish deaths, murders on the same day of the Watanagashi festival. Uh, so yeah. I don't think we did the tips last time that we got. I think I just ended it there. So, yeah. Let's get looking into these. Hojo's couples falling incident. Oh, okay. This is just going to be talking about the different years, the accidents and shit. Okay, cool, cool. From the June 1980 edition. On the afternoon of blank at 2 p.m., office of employee blank and his wife blank of Hinamizawa village in Shishibone Prefecture disappeared after falling 27 meters from the observatory platform in Shirakawa Prefecture. Police and firefighters searched downstream and discovered the body of blank at around 7 p.m. that evening. His wife blank has yet to be found. The search has run into difficulties due to the effects of Typhoon 3 from the previous day. It appeared a railing at the observatory that the blanks leaned on had broken, causing him to fall. Groundskeeping staff was questioned by the police in regards to facility deterioration and if park maintenance was performed regularly. Alright. These seem to be pretty short. Let's go. Alright. From the June 1981 edition. On the afternoon of X and around 10 p.m. in the blank district of Hinamizawa village in the Shishibone prefecture, the Shinto priest of the Furure shrine passed away after an existing condition he was recovering from suddenly worsened. Parties close to the deceased said he was suffering from anxiety issues concerning the festival, which was to be held that day. Also after Blank's death, his wife, Blank, went missing, leaving behind a farewell note. The police and local youth association continued to search. However, given the presence of the farewell message and the fact that the Onigafuchi marsh is said to be bottomless, they have run into difficulties. So she threw herself into like the marsh or something. Cool. Housewife murder. It wasn't reported in the newspaper. Okay. Radio log. This is Okinomiya Station, calling Unit 3. Unit 3, please respond. This is Unit 3, loud and clear. Backup is heading your way. Hold position until further instructions. Over. Roger, Unit 3 acknowledged. Requesting no headlights. Requesting radio silence. Station, the doctor has arrived. They want to carry it away. What's the order? Over. Acknowledged. Leave it to the doctor. Affirmative. Understood. Ah, backup has arrived. Shouldn't we let them take a photo first? I think the Vic is done for. Like victim? Alright. I guess not too crazy of an insight, but let's continue. Let's see if anything happened this time. Good morning. Nice job yesterday, Kei-chan. You didn't do so badly yourself, Mion. Yesterday was fun. Oh, that's right, Keiichi-kun. Thank you very much. For Mr. Bear. I'm glad he liked it. Didn't use it as a pincushion, though. Or don't use it as a pincushion, though. I wouldn't. Still chatting happily, we entered the classroom. But the moment I stepped into the room, a splashing sound and a nasty sensation. It was a bucket filled to the brim with water, and unfortunately my foot stepped right into it. Okay, how do you step into a bucket? Like, you have to actually, you would just normally kick it over. My now, how diligent of you to mop the floor with this morning. Clump, 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 whip, whip, whiff. Keiichi-kun flicked my forehead. Oh, okay. You should set a more brutal trap next time. Saying that, Lena began to swoon as Mion looked on dejectedly. Everything was the same as always. Everybody was there and nothing felt out of place. The uncertainties I had in the back of my mind since yesterday had vanished. What is it, Keiichi-kun? Didn't get enough sleep, maybe? Maybe? I slept like a log, but if you want, I'll do a reenactment of during class. Nice. I like that. You shouldn't do that. Mion alerted us that the teacher was coming, so everyone shuffled to their seats. Hold on, let me plug my phone in. It's only at 75. I need to charge it. Yeah, that's how I am. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday was the festival. Thank you to all the people who stayed until the very end to help clean up. We were all slackers, so none of us actually helped clean up. Actually, I had a feeling that the only thing we did was run around the festival and cause a ruckus. Okay then, this time of year you might see some people here from out of town doing interviews about the festival from magazines. I thought it was the usual stuff, so I was going to tune it out, but then I noticed the different tone in her voice and started paying attention. You may be asked questions, but don't say anything silly or something that could be taken the wrong way. Do you understand? In unison, everyone replied, "Yes, ma'am." What she said was really vague, but I understood what she was trying to say. After all, this was the 5th year. There were probably lots of third-rate reporters pouring in, hoping something regarding the curse had happened. Did nothing but perpetuate the village's bad image. She was saying, "Don't spout stupid shit like you think it's funny." And now I was one of ones who needed to keep their mouth shut. I found it rather cute how I felt a sense of unity from such a trite thing, if I do say so myself. I was summoned to club activities after school. Since everybody was still pretty tired from yesterday, we just spent the day relaxing. Yeah, that wasn't happening. Today, let's play a classic game of deduction. How about this one? Oh, a game from overseas. Looks interesting. The instructions are in English, but the rules don't seem to be that hard. I won't lose, you hear? I'm not too bad at this game. It seemed that Lena didn't handle this kind of game very well. Or she could be trying to trick you. The rules are, the person who can match the murder, weapon, and the scene of the crime wins. Oh, so it's basically just Clue. Okay. There were 3 kinds of cards comprised of suspects, weapons, and locations. I've set up a game of Clue before, like years ago, but I don't think we ever actually played. I don't think I've ever actually played Clue before. I can see the names Mion and Rika were written on the suspect cards. Oh, a card with my name on it as well. There are plenty of different weapons, too. Fuck hiccups. Ow. Like knives, axes, and poison. The locations are pretty nice, too. Like the living room, the study, and the courtyard. So basically, you take out one of each of the cards. These cards are the answer cards. So we shuffle the remaining cards and hand them out. We ask each other about the cards and figure out the right ones. Ah, I see. So the cards nobody has are the true perpetrators. Then you raise your hand if you know the answer. The game ends and we check if the answer is correct. If you're right, then you get a point. If you're wrong, then you lose a point. Since the game ends if no one gets it right, all the cards are gathered up and redistributed. Huh. You'll learn as you go. You really have to use your brain. You'll get confused if you don't take notes. Is this not Clue? So seeing as I actually haven't played Clue, I don't know how, like, the specific actual, like, rules of Clue. So it's, like, pretty sure that's similar, but I don't know if, like, how much change it is for the game. For this game, I mean. Curious. The rest of you can figure out by playing. So, Mion? What's the penalty this time? Everyone directed their attention to Mion. Let's see. We're all still a little tired from yesterday, so maybe we'll take it easy with the gopher penalty. You'll be asked to rush out and buy stuff for everyone. So just being asked to go buy stuff like drinks and candy, I guess. I feel like the penalty today is pretty simple. I wonder, is it really? Is Keiichi-san thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah. You don't know what you'll have to go buy. I'm betting Mion would send out whoever loses to buy stuff like hemorrhoid cream or happy family planning manual or some other crazy stuff. I already got a few ideas of like classic shit that you could like, that people like try to buy to like creep out the cashier or some shit or something like that. I know that's a thing. Like some people do that, but the cards were lightly shuffled and passed out to each player. The real perpetrator, the correct weapon, and the scene of the murder had been taken out, so that means all the cards I have in my hand are innocent cards. Then I'll go first since I'm the club president, I guess. Well then, Mion. Knife, study. You pick one suspect, weapon, and murder scene and ask each person. If you have any of those cards, then you must say, I have one. However, you don't need to say which one you have. Ooh. Okay, yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I got it. Me too. I have one. Oh my, all of them are here. 3 people answered when she asks if they had Mion, Knife, and Study. So that means Mion and Knife and Study are all in the clear. Got to jot that down. Then I'll go. Rena, Axe, Lounge. Only people said they had one? So, it means out of Rena, Axe, and Lounge, one of them is correct and is part of the crime? No, wait. Even if they say they have one, they don't have to say how many. Huh? It's possible that either Satoko or Rika-chan has 2 of the cards. Oh. God, what the fuck? Well, Kei-chan is next. Go ahead. Wait, just a little. I'm still sorting things out. The game has me thinking more than I thought. Oh man, this feels like it's going to be tough. Oh, I feel like this game is like against fucking overthinkers. Or maybe it's to their benefit. I feel like this game would just wipe me out, like mentally. I'd be so like fatigued afterwards. I'd just be like so drained, like using like my weak ass brain power. Alright, now I have the criminal. What? Already? Here I am spinning around in circles and Mion just now raises her hand. The murderer is Rika-chan. In the infirmary with the poison. Well? Mion drew the cards from the box and we checked to see if her deduction was right. You were right. What the fuck? Huh. All I needed was one more hand. I couldn't tell whether it was poison or pistol. I never use a pistol. I like killing them slowly with poison. Rika-chan said such a hugely terrifying thing with such a sweet little face. Everyone was making a commotion about how they almost had it. Rena and I were left out in the cold though. How did you do, Keiichi-kun? I couldn't get it at all. Don't worry, I had no idea either. How can you both be so unsure? You'll both end up in last place together at this rate. That's even worse. Going off buying something together as a couple? What if we ended up having to buy the Happy Family Plan again? Yes, let's go. I can tell from Keiichi's expression that he's not very good at this game. What? That's not true. I'll show you the true power of Sherlock Mayabara during the next round. Oh my, that sounds just wonderful. I shall give you quite the thrashing. After that, I managed to somewhat grasp the trick behind the game, but I was still always a step or two behind. I saw that Mion was somehow gleaning information from how the others were asking their questions. That level of experience was just too much. The only way I could stage a comeback was if I became ruthless. I tossed out the simple concept of deduction and switched over to the thought process needed to win. The important thing isn't to find out the criminal, it's to win at the game. Eureka! Ah, sorry, need to go to the bathroom. Take your time and squeeze out a nice one. Hey John, that's gross! I had them hold off the game and headed down the hall. The air was crisp. It showed just how stagnant the air in the classroom was from our body heat. On the school grounds, some of our classmates were still playing around. After spending some time cooling my head, Rena had made her way over towards me. Hey, Ichi-kun, did you call for me? Yeah, I did. As I got up from my seat, I winked over at Rena. I'm glad it worked out. I don't want to waste much time, so I'll get right to the point. Or I don't want to waste much time. What's your record at this game we're playing today? She was taken aback after a moment. She hesitantly opened her mouth. Well, all losses. Why do you ask? I wonder. I could tell from how apprehensive she was playing. The way things are going, I will as well. I can't figure out a way to pull off a last-minute comeback on this one. So, I guess both of us will be taking that penalty? Hey, don't accept defeat already. How about we win this? Both of us. But how can we? I brought my lips up to right in his ears. Whisper, 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 whisper. Ooh, that nice ASMR. Huh? Is that allowed? Did you forget, Rena? The second rule of our society? Do everything in your power to obtain victory. Yeah. I'll try my best. Our plan of attack was quite a rudimentary one. At the beginning of the game, everyone would be focused on their own hands for a while, taking notes and whatnot. Since our seats were right next to each other, we'd reveal our hands to each other. If we did it under the desk, then nobody would know. We'd begin the game with twice as much information as everyone else. Having this much information would mean we'd need to investigate less. With this sort of plan of attack, we start off with a big lead over the other guys. Yeah. With this, we could probably win. We both smirked at each other. If I was the shady businessman and Redena was the corrupt senator. Pleasure doing business with you. And let's hurry back. We'll work as a duo to surprise everyone. Hey now, there's no point if we go back together. It would be like flat out telling them we made a little argument. A great arrangement. Oh, sorry. Then what should we do? You go back ahead of me, Redena. I'll take my time coming back after washing my face or something. Okay, got it. Then I turned around and headed back to the classroom. I guess I should wait a bit longer before going back. If I went too soon, it would seem like I went to the bathroom. It wouldn't seem like I went to the bathroom. If Mion or one of them suspected something, then there could be problems. Well, they'd figured it out sooner or later, because both Rena and I would start winning over and over again. Both Rena and I will have earned enough points to avoid being the losers by the time Mion realized what was happening. Excellent. Not bad at all, if I do say so myself. Mayabara-kun? May I have a moment? Huh? It's a teacher. Man, things were just getting good. What is it? You have a guest. Please make your way to the entrance. A guest? It's not like I own a hotel. They've been waiting. Please hurry. It was rather unfortunate that I'd have someone waiting on me right before my big match. But I was more interested in the unexpected guest. I didn't want to waste any time, so I decided to take care of it quickly. The entryway was a heavy contrast from the hot sunlight and deep shadows. Waiting here, looking uncomfortably warm, was a middle-aged man. His tie sloppily loosened and his jacket tucked underneath his arm. Are you Mayabara-san? Keiichi Mayabara-san? There was no question that he wasn't a resident of Hinamizawa, and that this was without a doubt the first time he had met me. Ever since I met Tomitaka-san, I'd been running into so many middle-aged men. That's right. Who might you be? I have the AC on in my car. Let's talk there. It's a bit hot here, don't you think? The man, completely ignoring my question, pointed over to his car parked near the gate, and began walking. You've got to be kidding me. I had no intention of going along with some old geezer. I didn't even know him. And he was asking me to get in his car with him? I'm not going to bite. Come on now. He opened the back door to his car and called me over. I didn't like this old man, but I wanted to know what this was about. Even while knowing that conversations that start out like this have never led to anything good. The inside of his car was pretty cool. Cars with air conditioning were supposed to be a luxury. My dad didn't even have one in his car, at least. Please let me know if it's too cold for you, okay? I have a habit of cranking it all the way up. So what business do you have with me? Out of spite, I decided to ignore his remark in the same way he did to me and start my own line off with the questioning. He pulled out a notepad from his pocket and took out a picture that was stuck between the pages. On it was the face of a pretty goofy-looking guy. If you know anything related to this individual, then please tell me. Who the heck is this? I doubt even his close friends would be able to recognize who he was from that expressionless picture that looked like it was taken at the DMVA, or DMV. There were scribbles on his shirt done permanent marker, starting with yours, Mayabata-san, and quite a few of your classmates signed as well. Huh? That is Tomitaka-san? There was no hint of his usual unreliable and easygoing personality in this photo. It was an expressionless, half-asleep face. Then do you know this woman? Even before seeing it, I had a good idea who it was. I don't remember her name, but she's some lady who was with Tomitaka-san last night. I didn't know what her name was, but I did know she was a resident of Hinamizawa. When was the last time you saw these two? The night of the Wasanagashi we spoke. They seem pretty close, I guess. Did anything bother you about them? Anything is fine. Go ahead and say it. Being asked for every little detail is very troubling, honestly. I had a pretty good idea of who this guy was by now. Did something happen to them? There was no response to my inquiry. Thus I replied to that silence in kind. I was certain that this guy was a cop. Then why? Why was he asking stuff about Tomitaka-san? Did something happen to him? More importantly, why me? Shouldn't there have been plenty of other people who knew more about him than I did? The roar of the air conditioning felt unbearably loud. After a long pause, he finally spoke again. You've moved here just recently, isn't that right, Mayabata-san? Are you aware, I wonder, about the stories of Oyashiro-sama? My heart began to race. Pretty terrible at hiding things. It probably showed on my face. Not at all? If you don't, then that's fine. Well, I have heard of it. Tomitaka-san told me, actually. How much do you know about it? The dismemberment killing, the accidental death, the death by illness followed by suicide, and the lady who was beaten to death. The incidents that always happened the day of the Watsunagashi ending. The day of the Watsunagashi ending in suspicious deaths. I didn't think Tomitaka-san would have kept anything from me. I think that was everything. No, rather, I didn't want to think there was anything more than that. Do you know of that? Well, curse Mayabata-san? Feel free to speak openly about it. I don't believe in it. My answer was instant. It wasn't so much that I didn't believe in it as I was on the verge of believing. I wanted to clear away my own doubts. That was the more prominent feeling. What?
Good luck in the tournament.
Cool.
I'm rooting for you. I'm not in it now.
Why not?
Friend couldn't, because apparently the tournament takes place, or is happening right when he has to eat. So.
No, any other friends or anything?
No, and plus it's probably too late to switch off.
Oh, then let Friddle know you're not in it.
Huh?
Then let Friddle know you're not in it.
Who's broadcasting it?
I don't know. I think Flap, but I don't know. I mean, you can watch from my perspective, but...
I'll probably honestly do that.
Yeah.
Good luck. I'll try not to be anymore till the tournament's over, so I don't bother you just in case you're practicing.
I mean, I'm gonna cut my stream short about an hour tonight so I can get some warm up in before it. About 30 minutes, but... Sorry about that, little brother. Really? Then that's great. Guess you really are one of those city braves boys. So what if I don't believe? I have friends waiting, so could you get to the point? The man in this picture is dead. Ah. My mind went blank. Huh? What happened to Tomitaka-san? It would seem that he died last night. That was the night of the Watsunagashi. Do you understand the implications behind that, Mayabata-san? Implications? Not any at... not any for the cause of his death or the reason behind it. The real problem was that he died on the day of the Watanagashi. Meaning, this year, the curse of Oyashiro-sama had once again. The death of Jiro Tomitake is still confidential. You can understand why that is, right? I didn't want to understand why. Please tell me. Tell me what happened. It was rather peculiar. It might be a little too graphic for someone born and raised in Hinamizawa. It was a roundabout way of saying it, but it caused me to doubt whether or not I wanted to hear the rest. I would only regret forcing myself to learn something I shouldn't. Or at least, that's how I figured I would feel if I listened to the rest. I want to know. How did he die? One of the patrol cars discovered the body on the way back from the security detail at the festival. It was late, about 5 till midnight. The location was, you know where the road into town becomes paved, right? Down past the slope on the shoulder around here, or there. There were a few streetlights on that road. Its pitch black darkness was only broken by the lights of passing cars on the moon. It was a stroke of luck that Tomitake-san was spotted collapsed on the shoulder of the road. Tomitake-san was face down, covered in blood. Blood and muck covered the asphalt. We thought it was a hit and run at first, but when the officer checked to see if he was still alive, he quickly noticed something abnormal. His throat had been ripped open. From a knife or something? No. Nails. Nails? As in fingernails? With those he clawed through? From the coroner's report, it was revealed that it was his own nails. What? Huh? What does that mean? Basically, it means it wasn't a murder. It was a suicide. Tomitake-san thought that there was a reason to tear open his own throat, as hard as he could with his own nails. Tore through his skin until he started to bleed, and even then Tomitake-san didn't stop. He continued clawing, with enough intensity that it could have been peeled off with his nails, still clawing. Or could have peeled off his nails. Still clawing. Still clawing. Then, as his nails reached those vital arteries that should never damage, he continued clawing. Blood splattered on the ground around him. As he bled, while gasping for his breath, he collapsed. His body spasmed and he died in agony. He thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of the nature was detected. But it was a suicide? I've never heard of such a thing. It's a natural way of dying. If this wasn't a mysterious death, then what was? The way he died. In these 5 years, his death most resembled that of a curse. As if to show both myself and Tomitake-san, who proclaimed there was no such thing as a curse, that we were wrong. There are a few more suspicious details, from his body chemistry, perspiration, epilation, and so on. We concluded that he was in a state of hysteria right before his death. That was a given. It's hard to believe someone could be in a sound state of mind while clawing out their throat. Wounds on his hands matched the discarded piece of lumber found nearby. There are traces of where he struck trees with the guardrails with it. What? There are traces of where he struck trees and the guardrails with it. Wounds on his hands. Huh? Wounds on his hands matched a discarded piece of lumber found nearby. Like splinters in his hands. There are traces of where he struck trees and the guardrails with it. Tomitake-san's blood was found all over the place. Meaning that while tearing at his own throat, he was swinging around a piece of lumber. Oh, okay. I was so confused by that at first. There were external injuries which were not self-inflicted, discovered on Tomitaka-san. There is a high probability Tomitaka-san was assaulted. The external injuries suggest there are maybe multiple suspects. To summarize, Tomitaka-san was surrounded and attacked. While wandering the night roads in a state of panic, after being cornered, he picked up a piece of lumber and tried fighting back. Somewhere in there, he began madly tearing at his own throat, clawing at it. Then he died. Huh. Ah. The presumed time of death was around 9:23 p.m., meaning it occurred right after you finished talking to Tomitaka-san at the festival. Everyone signed Tomitaka-san's shirt, then parted ways. Right after that. Oh yeah, it should have been with a woman. What about her? She's missing. She hasn't shown up to work and hasn't returned home either. There's a very high probability that she was involved in this incident. For a while, I could only gaze off into space. I never would have thought that something unfortunate happening to somebody close to me could affect me this deeply. The time I had spent with Tomitaka-san was short, but we went to the same festival, spent time together, and took part in the same competition. He was one of us. We have been continuing the investigation on various fronts, but when it comes to Oyashiro-sama's curse, the villagers here aren't very cooperative. That I knew well. I would have been none the wiser if not for Tomitaka-san, the outsider, telling me. So that's why you came to me? Because I'm not originally from Hinamizawa? I should have been angry that that was the reason he wanted to hear what happened from me. If things go the way they have been, then the conclusion would be that Jiro Tomitaka died from Oyashiro-sama's curse. He turned away from me and gazed off far into the distance. The night of the Watanagashi, during that sacred ritual, he callously snapped off photos, angering Oyashiro-sama. That's how it's going to turn out. There's no way Oyashiro-sama would inflict divine punishment on Tomitaka-san. Tomitaka-san had to have been killed by humans, and a cowardly group no less. There's no way I'm going to let this end up being the fault of some curse. I think so as well. There's no such thing as divine punishment or curses. A tense mood was cut with the man's heartedly laugh. That's how this must be, Mayabata-san. Cooperation from individuals in Hinamizawa who don't believe in the curse is indispensable. Understood? Neither Tomitaka-san nor I believe in curses. But with the very way things were going, it would just end up with Tomitaka-san's death marking the 5th year, which would mean that Hinamizawa had rejected Tomitaka-san. That was something I couldn't allow. Tomitaka-san was one of us. He didn't live in Hinamizawa, but he came every single year. In a sense, he was more of a resident than I was. There was no way that Tomitaka-san could have been cursed by Oyashiro-sama. But there is nothing I can do to help. I have no idea what happened that night either. No. If you see or hear something that draws your attention, then that is enough. If I see or hear? He was talking in the future tense. Things or people or rumors. Anything is fine. I don't care if they're unfounded. Here. This is my number. If I'm not there, then just leave a message with whoever picks up. He handed me a piece of paper with his number on it, but I hesitated for a second. If I took it, then whether I wanted to or not, I'd be mired knee-deep in this matter. Please help me solve these questions surrounding Tomitaka-san's unfortunate death. That's right. Why was I hesitating? I needed to find the murderer who killed my friend. I snatched up the piece of paper as a satisfied grin spread across his face. Everything we spoke of today is a secret. Please keep this confidential. Understood. From your friends as well. Especially from the Sonozaki-san and Furude-san. Please do not inform them. Sanazaki? You mean Mion? Why? Are you saying they have something to do with the incident? With my friends' names brought up so abruptly, and being told to keep it a secret from them, I became rather angry. This is what they call investigative and privilege, I suppose. Don't play games with me. Mion is a close friend of mine. I snapped at him, but he didn't seem to especially be offended. I wouldn't mind telling you, but it may just upset you. Say it. He hesitated a little. Turning his gaze to the outside of the car, he began to speak after thinking for a bit. There's a possibility that the string of incidents happening here in Hinamizawa are a result of a village conspiracy. There's no way that could be right. Give me a break. First of all, is there any proof of that? No evidence. Also, each of the cases were resolved, and none of the perpetrators had any direct connection to the village. And how did you come to that conclusion? Every year, the enemies of the village die on the day of the Watanagashi. Don't you think that's enough reason to suspect something? Only the residents of Hinamizawa felt that the day of the Watanagashi was sacred. So basically, because incidents happened on that day, it was somehow related to Hinamizawa? First it was the dam construction foreman. Then it was a villager that supported it. Those the village hold a grudge against die one after the other from mysterious causes. That the means are different, but in the end the result is the same. Unfounded, unreasonable suspicion. But it couldn't just be shrugged off. So, the victims after that. What about the Shinto priest and his wife's death? They weren't enemies of the village. The village had expected leadership from the Shinto priest at the time of the dam dispute. But he wasn't proactive, so there was a faction of villagers who harbored ill will towards him as a result. Ill will? It's not like he did anything bad to the village. What about the housewife after that? Did she die just because she was the wife of the brother of a supporter? What? That's such a trivial reason to kill someone. What about Tomitake-san? He's not affiliated with the damn project at all. He was killed just because he was an outsider? In the beginning it fell on those related to the dam project, but as the years went on, the enemy threshold of the victims had become much lower. Oh, that's the scary part. The bar keeps getting lower. What's scary about that? It means it's not just enemies of the village anymore. Just being an outsider is reason enough. Then, next year's victim. They're just going to be picked out of the village outsider pool. It might be a person that just moved here. What do you mean by... I swallowed my words. Here in Hinamizawa, the ones who would be considered the most outside would be my family. I was proof enough of that, wasn't I? I still couldn't really remember the names of the people I passed by. Then, the next victims, my family. Was he saying it was going to be me? But what does that have to do with Mion? I can't go into the details, but the Sonozaki family led the dam protests. Quite fervently so. This is also true of Mion Sonozaki-san herself. She has quite a few misdemeanors and obstruction of public worker offenses on her record because of the protests. I knew Mion knew what it meant to fight. This was the first I'd heard her family leading the protests, though. Then, well, what did it all mean? Are you saying that Mion's family is involved with this string of incidents? I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying that if it was a conspiracy, then they'd have the highest probability of being behind it. Not a very clear explanation. It felt like he'd magnificently avoided the details I really wanted to know. We didn't know who or how involved anyone is right now. That is exactly why I don't want you to say anything to the villagers. Instead of answering, I gave a very bitter expression. It seemed that he understood it well enough. Then think of it as like this. I don't want to worry the villagers who blindly believe believe it's the curse. How about that? What do you mean by how about that? How should I know? But the reasoning behind wanting me to not carelessly open my mouth behind it wasn't too hard to comprehend. The perpetrator was here. It had nothing to do with the curse. He was definitely going to be caught by the police and made to pay for his crimes. And none of the villagers should have anything to do with that process. It may cause those sensitive about the curse to just worry needlessly. Just like everyone kept it from me so I wouldn't worry about it. Is it now my turn to keep it from them so they didn't have to worry? I was just talking to myself. Unlike me, everyone else had been worrying over these mysterious incidents yearly. And the incident this time probably means a lot more to them. I didn't want to burden them anymore. In the end, everything went as the man had wanted. And insipid as it was, but couldn't be helped. I want to see what that word means. Insipid? Insipid? I'm learning new words from this game. I like it. What? Fuck you. Let me look up the word, you bitch. Without distinctive, interesting, or stimulating qualities. Vapid. Without sufficient taste to be pleasing. As food or drink. Bland. Okay. As uninteresting, I guess, as it was. But it couldn't be helped then. I understand. I'll keep it to myself. Is that fine? Mr. Oishi from the Okinomiya police station. You can call me Kuda-chan if you want. Ah, no, Oishi-san is fine. The way he said it was unpleasant, yet retained hints of politeness. He was a spitting image of a very vulgar police officer, though I've never seen one this bulky before in the cop shows I watch. I've taken up too much time. Your friends are waiting, aren't they? I should probably let you get back to them. The door opened with a click, and in streamed the oppressive heat. It was blistering outside of the car. Was it really this hot of a day? It was an almost cruel heat as opposed to the mechanical coolness inside the car. It was as if the land of Hinamizawa itself suddenly hated me. I felt a little sad as that thought crossed my mind. I didn't mean to suspect your friends. Please don't misunderstand that. I refrained from telling him that it was too late to say something that self-serving. It's fine. If you don't see or hear anything, Mayabara-san, there is enough proof that the village is not involved. I'll contact you if I hear or see anything. But I'm no detective. Please don't expect too much from me. I won't. You don't have to become a detective. Just go on living as you have up till now. Just let me know if you notice anything. I hastily made my way back to the school building after giving him a quick bow. See you later. Farewell, Mayabara-kun. I returned to the school building without looking back. I don't know how much time had passed. I didn't feel bad for keeping them waiting, but right now there was a lot on my mind. Tomitake-san's death was hard enough as it was, but to think that there was the possibility of a village conspiracy? Oof. That's a lot of damage. Ah, that was stupid. Worse still, there was a chance that Mion was involved. Nonsense. Impossible. Not Mion, Rena, Satoko, or Rika-chan. It was a group that attacked Tomitaka-san. Who could the perpetrators be? Could it be they were hiding here? Somewhere in Hinamizawa? I didn't know. All I could say for certain was that I knew that Mion couldn't be the perpetrator. It's me, Chan. The perpetrator. I knew it! Huh? I was so startled to hear Lena's voice. With the rope in the lounge. Wahaha! Nope! No! Rena clutched her head while flailing about. Looks like you're just self-destructing over here. Wow. Ah! Keiichi-san, you're quite late. As you may well know, I'm seething with anger. Aha. Sorry about that. I was called into the staff room, you see. You were reprimanded for bad behavior? That's a shame. Well, it's been pretty heated over here. Since it's getting pretty late, let's make the next game the last one. If I remember right, I had 0 points. Isn't it pretty much decided that I'm going to be finishing in last place? Don't worry, Keiichi-kun. I'm at -1 points. Huh. The heck? Her score is even lower than mine, and I wasn't even playing. This is the final match to decide if the penalty is going to be carried out by Rena alone, or by both Kei-chan and Rena. Yeah, right. Just let Rena do the penalty by herself. We made a promise, Keiichi-kun, that we would both win. I waited all this time, you know? Ugh, I'm sorry about that. I followed my initial plan of showing Rena my cards, but I didn't say who was the criminal and just waited for her to call. I got it. The murderer is me, with the poison at the entrance. Is it? My, Rena. Quite a shock. Quite a quick answer. Another stab in the dark? Oh? Rena's correct. Oh. Then it's decided that Keiichi-san shall take part in the penalty as well. Hooray! Keiichi-kun, let's both do our best. Yeah, let's do our best. It's my fault, so I had no choice. Then that's game. It's me, Mion Sonozaki, ranked first. And dead last are Keiichi Marubara and Rena Rugu. Everyone applauded that, and the game ended. The problem now was the penalty. Now then, I ranked first, so I'll decide what you'll be buying for the gopher penalty. But what will she make us buy? I wonder. Let's blacklist the drugstore. That was your aim, wasn't it? Huh? I don't have any business at the drugstore. This old man's already got a list prepared for you on this piece of paper. Whoa, there's a lot written here. A lot? Damn it. What is she making us buy? 2 blocks of tofu, shampoo and conditioner, apple vinegar and fried tofu. The heck is this? Shopping list? Yeah, it looks more like a shopping list than a penalty. Mia was certain she was going to win today. Rule 7 of our society. You cannot refuse any penalty. Here's some money. The shampoo I usually get is Fruit Fable. Thanks. This is just your grocery list? I promised myself that if I won next time, I'd make her go buy hemorrhoid cream. Alright. There are more than 4 perpetrators? Ooh, interesting, interesting. Alright. Hypo hypovolemic shock. A hypovolemic shock induced by clawing out their own throat. Tissue is packed under the nails. Not someone else's nails. It's undoubtedly by the individual's own nails. The shape of the scars also matches. Yeah. I know the immediate cause of death was suicide. I get it. It's saying the cause of death is unnatural, right? It's kind of like when your back itches and you scratch a little too hard and draw blood. Some of Tomitake-san's fingernails had been pulled out. It's actually quite simple to pull out someone's own nails, but it really hurts. Under normal circumstances, the pain would prevent you from completely pulling them out. Also, there were a lot of bruises on Tomitake-san's body. It's clear from the shape of them that he was assaulted first by someone, or a group of people. Yeah, no, the fingernail stuff hurts. There was this one time I got my finger stuck in a car door, and it fucked up my fingernail on one of my hands. And I mean, it hurt at first, but I got bored and I kept playing with it, and then I eventually just tore off the nail. It wasn't that big of a deal. According to the toxicology report, the deceased was in an extreme state of hysteria right before death. Then he fought back and clawed out his own throat because of how hysterical he had become. The guys attacking him certainly would have been surprised by that. Is it possible that in such an abnormal environment, a person could perform acts that a sane individual couldn't possibly imagine? Of course, those are very rare cases. Actually, Oishi-kun, that wood plank the deceased used as a weapon? They only found sand and the paint from the guardrail on it. What about cloth fibers or skin? Nothing. The deceased didn't strike the assailants. Or could it be that they took the plank he was fighting back with? In that case, they wouldn't have gone out of their way to replace it with another. They'd take them all. Ha ha ha. That's true. Tomitaka is pretty built and tanned. He was quite athletic. That's right. He was pretty active. I can't imagine what kind of sports he did when he was alive, but I think his physical strength would be on the higher side, meaning he would have been difficult to overpower in a brawl. If a man with such a physique, since he was in danger and swung with the plank around quickly, it's just unthinkable that it wouldn't even nick the perpetrator. And his opponent was unarmed. This guy had a wooden plank, so you'd think he'd hit him at least once. Huh. To surround and take down someone of his physique. I wonder how many people it would take. You dimwit. You should know better than anyone. Have you forgotten your bad cop days? If I was to take down this guy, how many would I need? When a group wants to take down big prey, it's fundamental to attack with numbers. I'd guess about 4. Yeah. I mean, fighting against a group by yourself, it's hard. Even if there was a gap in their strength, they'd manage. Yeah. Then there were quite a few perpetrators. So any drunk and disorderly groups are of more than 4 are suspicious? A group of 4 or more. Just, if they had that many, then couldn't they have hidden the body in a less obvious location? Or did he somehow break away from that fatal predicament? Then there would be no reason to commit suicide. Moreover, I still can't comprehend the irregular way he died. It's full of mysteries. That's under serious condition on my end, too. I'll be examining it as thoroughly as possible, but don't get your hopes up. After all, we've never encountered a death like this before. I'm not hoping for much, but I am looking forward to the results. Oishi-san! The chief's calling you. Thank you. See you around. Yeah. Best wishes. Alright. Sharp's notice. Judo Tomitake. Deceased. Resided in a cheap hotel in Shishibone City. registered under the name of Jiro Tomitake. Pen name. Travels via folding bike. No license. The bicycle was found 300 meters away, abandoned at the side of a forest path. Present on the day of the festival, accompanied by the missing Mio Takano. Takano was seen around 9 p.m. by police. Location afterwards unknown. Held residence in Hinamizawa for 1 week each season for the last 5 to 6 years. Freelance photographer specializing in wild birds. Check with magazine companies. Nothing suspicious in the film located among the articles of the deceased. Wallet was among the articles of the deceased. Mere act of violence? From the contents of his wallet, he spent most of his time around Tokyo and Chiba, along with Sobo National Railway line. Sobo. No individual matching the name Jiro Tomitake in the residency records of any of the Tokyo wards. Compare teeth and dental records. Sent to Metro Police. Attach a photo. Sent to Metro Police. Contacting magazines regarding Jiro Tomitake. Mio Takano, missing. Nurse at Irie Clinic. Became close to Tomitake through her passion for wild bird photography. Residence in Okinomiya X District. Single. Witnessed accompanying Tomitake on the festival grounds. Currently missing. Abducted? Or maybe a suspect. An important person of interest. Had no motive to kill the deceased. Squabble from jealousy? Need to thoroughly investigate their relationship. Place of work, etc. Need to get information from the police on scene again. I want some cream puffs. 4 jumbo ones. Oishi. Alright. Alright. Let's see, I got about an hour. Alright. Whichever one comes first, the end of this chapter or 6 o'clock-ish. That's about when I'll end the stream. But yeah. Sleepy. Whoa, that's a really big yawn, Keiichi-kun. I'm usually awake once it's time to eat, but doesn't look like I can do it today. I was watching TV until late last night. I'm so tired right now. Was one of those raunchy TV shows you love so much on last night? How extremely vile! Don't jump to conclusions. It's perfectly normal for boys. Nothing to be ashamed about. Rika not patting my head only made me feel worse. Damn, no head pats from Rika-chan? Oh, that's the worst. Could you just let me pass out this lunch break? No, seriously. My, you think I would just sit there and allow that? I'll get really angry if you disturb me. Really angry. This was just dreadful. Just so sleepy. I slumped my head onto the desk and drifted off into an afternoon nap. It seemed that Satoko had responded, but I pretended not to hear. Cut it out, Satoko-chan. Keiichi-kun fell asleep. His sleeping face. So cute! You can take him home later. Let him be for now. She could take me home. Although, find my ugly ass cute. What the fuck? Okay, get a message. Uh, let's see. I'll give probably like 30 or so minutes left, I guess. Teammates hit me up. Okay. Sorry about that. Uh, the Insight server's got a tournament going on later tonight. Okay. I'll be streaming from my perspective, but as far as I know, I think it's going to be casted somewhere. I'm not sure where, but anyway, sorry. Yeah, back to Higurashi. Let's move over there. It'd be rude to Keiichi-kun if we bothered him now. Rika-chan is really is a good girl. Let's not wake him up even if the teacher comes back. I take that back. The excuse that I didn't sleep much last night because I was watching TV was a lie. I was in bed at the usual time, but because of the conversation with Oishi-san that afternoon, I didn't get much sleep. Just spending the day out like this, it's almost as if the incident with Tomitaka-san didn't happen at all. It made me think, was Oishi-san just trying to deceive me? But it was probably the truth. One thing was certain, I couldn't speak to anyone about it. He wanted my assistance, but I really didn't know anything about it. If I knew I wasn't going to be one of any help, I probably wouldn't have listened in the first place. It ended with me, again, regretting learning something I didn't need to know. If I had never learned about it, I would, without a doubt, be goofing off with the rest of them right now. I couldn't help but resent Oishi-san for this. Huh? When was that? I heard he wasn't there the next day. It appears he vanished the night of the Watsunagashi. Mion whispered to keep others from listening, but I could hear it clearly. On the other hand, Elena's voice was even harder to pick up. But I could still tell that she was quite upset. It couldn't be. Are they talking about Tomitaka-san? Itake? Not sure. That's all I know. I would have to feign ignorance about this topic because I needed to keep it a secret. Rather than waking up and being forced to lie to join the conversation, it was much easier to just sit here and pretend I was asleep to listen in on their discussion. Wait, why did I have to pretend to be asleep while eavesdropping on my friend's conversation? The guilt stung. So, and me, there are others, right? Too? But I didn't know if it's from the curse or if it was, or if this was in Onikakushi. Onikakushi? Onikakushi? To be hidden away by a demon? What a mysterious phrase. I did, however, get the feeling it meant nothing good. So it was like spirited away or something like that. Yeah, well, there was another, right? Right? If it's, oh yeah, Shiro-sama's, yeah. But, this year, at all? Grandma and the mayor had talked about it. Seems they talked to the police about it beforehand. They said they'd take care of whatever happens this year without causing a commotion. Then, without us knowing, someone had died? Or someone had Ed them, you mean? Killed them, you mean? Maybe. Why are there's like taking out letters? Next could me, I wonder? Don't worry. You got home safely. But it's not allowed, right? That was a long time ago. Let's stop talking about this. Amidst the uncomfortable mood, both of them went silent. The entirety of the conversation was still a bit unclear, but a few parts caught my attention. First of all, the term onikakushi, to be demoned away. By the context it was used in, I would guess it's similar to being spirited away. I suspected that was what it meant because Tomitaka-san and the woman, it really bugged me that I didn't know her name, vanished after the Watanagashi. The next thing that stuck out to me was when Rena said, there's another one, right? Mion also said, if it's Oyashiro-sama's, yeah, responding to something. If it's Oyashiro-sama's curse, then there had to be 2 victims. Is that what she meant? Come to think of it, I remember Mion saying at the beginning that they didn't know if it was from the curse or if it was a case of the onikakushi. It seems that the curse and being demoned away are different things, and there were phenomena that were paired together. I recalled Tomitaka-san's terrible end. That wasn't something as elegant as disappearing. That horrendous end would be best described as cursed. Then the woman with him. I mean, she vanished because she was demoned away? What I do know is that there's normally an even number of victims of the curse proper. And the last point that bothered me was Rena. Rena was frightened. For whatever reason, I didn't know. However, she knew that something had made her a potential target for Oyashiro-sama's curse. Probably the fact that, like you, she moved here? Or something like that. Like, you had learned that she had moved here a year prior. If I recall correctly, Oyashiro-sama should be the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. Isn't a guardian deity supposed to defend the citizens and drive out invaders? If I recall correctly, yesterday Oishi-san said that originally the targets were enemies of the village, but recently there was no longer any distinction between them or regular outsiders. But if that was the case, then I would think that I'd be the more likely target, having moved here more recently than Rena. From her composure, I could infer that she was grimly certain that she would be next. I should probably relay what I heard just now to Oishi-san. Informing the police of what I heard by eavesdropping on my friends while pretending to be asleep. It made me feel terrible. It raised a few questions and left me with a bad taste in my mouth. Would it be better not to seek the answers to those questions? As I continued to learn more and more, I felt like I had fallen past the point of no return. I would definitely regret this one day. I would definitely regret ever having learned of these events. Ah, the music's back. The teacher approaches. Keiichi-san, you must awaken. In the distance, I could hear the ring of the handbell, signaling the start of afternoon classes. Gah, I couldn't sleep at all. I hastily opened my eyes and raised up my head up. Ah. It was in that moment that when I leaned against the back of my seat. Ugh! There was a thumbtack stuck on the back of my chair with tape. Circumstantial evidence was enough. Satoko! Guilty without trial! Capital punishment! I furiously jumped up from my seat. And I tripped as my feet were tangled up. Tie the shoelaces together? Yes, let's go! My shoelaces had been tied together. No, not bad, Satoko! While I was sleeping, you were able to conceal your presence and be able to pull off this fine piece of work. The teacher came right in as I was about to pull off my shoes and tackle Satoko. Ho ho ho! Did you not notice that our teacher has arrived, Keiichi-san? Take your seat. Clomp, clomp, whoosh, woof. Not caring one bit, I made her eat a flick to the forehead. Ah! Keiichi-san is being mean! Hey! Don't pick on the younger kids, Mayabata-kun. Apologize to her. I saw Satoko stick her tongue out at me. That little brat. Come on, Mayabata-kun. Yeah, I'll apologize. Sorry, Satoko-san. In any case, I apologized even if it was in a complete, insincere tone of voice. Damn her. I'll remember this. Mayabata-kun, remember that. Kei-chan, get revenge at the club meeting. Take a seat. I sat down after Mion told me to. She'd switched to class representative mode. Can't we just short that to class rep? Come on, let me be like Oshino-san. With the boring classes finished, school is finally over for the day. Now then, what should we do for club today? Personally, I would like to play that deduction game one more time. I was hardly able to play it last time because of Oishii-san. Then and I weren't able to test out our strategy. That's right, today Keiichi-kun and I will be victorious. What should we do? We've never played the same game 2 days in a row before. Why not try asking me? Mion looked over her shoulder as we made eye contact. She slowly tapped her palm with her fist as her face suddenly lit up. Oops, I completely forgot. I need to go help my uncle today. Sorry guys, not today. Helping your uncle? Aren't you a little goody two-shoes? Or aren't you a good little... helping your uncle? Aren't you a goody two-shoes? Sorry, really. I really did forget. Well then, sorry guys. This old man is heading back home now. Sus! Mion left us with that and rushed off to the exit after snatching up her bag. You see, Mi-chan, she sometimes goes to help out her uncle's shop in town. I thought she wasn't the type to get caught in such a bothersome stuff. Oh my god, I can't read. I thought she wasn't the type to get caught up in such bothersome stuff. Fucking hell. She said that she gets paid for it. It's quite a bit of spending money from what I hear. I see. She was able to pay for that mountain of games with what she saved up from there. But wouldn't you call that a part-time job? Isn't that against school policy? There's a clause that states family businesses are excluded. Is that what she's calling it? So what now? Pass on the club today? So, we're done today, I guess? Want to be fine even without the club president? Let's do this. I opened the club locker and began searching for the deduction game from that ever-growing pile of games. Here it is. The deduction game from yesterday. Man, I had to stop just as I was getting the hang of it. At the very least, I wanted to repay Satoko for what she did during the afternoon break. I do not mind. But is that fine for Rena and Rika-san? Or Rena-san and Rika. If Keiichi-kun wants to so badly, I wouldn't mind playing for a bit. I think it's better if we do it when we have everyone together. When she says it like that, I wanted to go shopping if there wasn't a club meeting today. Going to buy soy sauce and other things. Oh, right. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot. Well, I guess since it's been a while, I should go treasure hunting. What's this, now? Everyone was no longer in the mood for club activities. If I kept on trying to push the matter, it may make them realize I had a trick up my sleeve. Well, I'll give it up this time. Man, I was really looking forward to playing it. I shuffled through the cards as if I was still caught up on it. At the next opportunity, I shall give you a sound thrashing. Ho ho ho. The murderer is Satoko. The murder weapon is the pistol. It was you after all. What did you say? Then I'll just... Satoko looked through the cards out on the desk and stuck out 3 of them at me. The murderer is Keiichi, in the lounge, with the rope. I don't need a rope. I'll just strangle you like this. Ooh. Ooh. No! Keiichi-san, this is such a beast! What the fuck? Whew. Well, I guess it's good that I got out of that my system. Wah! I'll remember this, Keiichi-san. Satoko remembered that. She was used as a plaything for quite a while. How can you expect me not to make a joke out of that? Like, what? How unfortunate. Ah, cute, cute. I got some questions for you. What you into, my girl? What the hell? Everyone got ready to go back home. I also helped gather up the scattered cards. I suddenly paused. They were just the suspect cards, but I noticed something strange. Rena, Satoko, Rika, Keiichi, Mion. Satoshi. Satoshi? Not all the cards were made by us. Or at least, every card besides this one has the name of a club member. Does this mean that this Satoshi fellow is a member? Was there someone in the class named Satoshi? I couldn't find anyone named Satoshi on the class register stuck up on the wall. Keiichi-kun, let's hurry and finish cleaning up. Being rushed by Rina, I finished up quickly. Satoko and Rika had already headed merrily for their lockers, so we were the only ones left in the classroom. Right now, Rina had already gotten her bag and was ready to leave. Rina, there must be quite a few people who transfer from the school, right? I tried asking Rina in a bit of a roundabout way. Rina had a troubled face and then answered. Yeah, Hinamizawa is a rural town, right? Some people transfer out every now and then. Then is Satoshi another one of those transferees? Sorry, I don't really know. There was a bit of a pause, but the answer was pretty much immediate. I'm not saying it to be mean. Just last year, I transferred in, so maybe I just missed him. So I didn't hear much about him. Sorry. I am not sure. Sorry. Her answer was a lot like when she refused to tell me about the murder at the dam. I was saddened by her denial and felt a little bit of anger. Their friend, aren't I? Friends don't keep secrets from their friends, do they? Though I do appreciate that they kept that unsettling curse thing from me. But if everyone is worried about that, if everyone is worried about it, I'd rather be worried with them. That's what it means to be friends, right? For a moment, I wondered just what kind of face I was making just then, with these mixed feelings of sadness and annoyance. Keiichi-kun, you're making a scary face. Why is it? Why? It was probably exactly the kind of face Fina said it was. It appeared my grim expression had frightened her. Ah, sorry. I was really looking forward to the club today. I'm just feeling down about it. I rustled Rena's hair. Let's go home. Dragging that awkward mood with us, we headed home. Alright, actually, let's see. I wish I knew how long these things lasted, like these chapters. That way, like, I would know how much time I've got. I do kind of like want to hop on beforehand, but Let's see. You know, I feel hmm. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and end it here. Uh, I guess I'll be back alive or back live in about like an hour or so. For my perspective on the twos tournament that I'll be in for Insight. But yeah. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Uh, Getting some interesting details going on. It's great because it has been a minute since I watched the show. So, I remember stuff, but not like everything. It's been probably a good solid, like long while since I've watched it. But yeah, it's fun. Especially like the game's also got way more detail in it too than the anime did, from what I remember. At least characterization. But yeah. All right. Well, let me save here. Uh, Save. Yeah. Save right there. All right. Thank you for stopping by. Catch y'all later, and have a good one.